Welcome to Tech TraX with ZF. This is our brand new podcast series to bring information about ZF technology to you, our customer, and the industry. I'm here today with this panel. We're going to be talking about eMobility, and I'm Roy Moulter. I'm the head of marketing communications for ZF Commercial Vehicle Solutions North America, and I'll be hosting this panel today. Team wouldn't mind introducing themselves.
Yeah, I'm Matea Brandenburg. I'm a technical regulations advisor for ZF.
Yeah, I'm Robert Levy. I'm the ZF North America greenhouse gas emissions and compliance expert.
Alex Esgomi. I lead the product line driveline technology for North America, responsible for the powertrain developments.
Hey, thanks everybody so much for being here with me today. We're excited to talk about eMobility. A lot of things going on in the industry, especially probably around regulation, since we've just seen an administration change. Matea, what are we seeing? What can we expect, and how does it differ compared to what we're looking at with the previous administration?
Yeah, so this year and over the next 4 years, we're really expecting U.S. government actions that will slow the pace of commercial vehicle emission reductions and provide a longer and broader lifeline for internal combustion engine vehicles. We're basing this prediction on, recent and past actions that the new administration has taken. So just very recently on Election Day, the new administration released executive orders and memoranda that at least set the pathway to reduce the stringency of President Biden's federal vehicle emission standards, mentioning, possible elimination of the electric vehicle tax credit and production incentives, and perhaps, revoking California's waiver to set its own state zero-emission vehicle sales standards. So this, just starts the process. The specifics will take time to develop, but at least signals, the new administration's intent to reduce the stringency of vehicle emission standards. And it's consistent with some of the messaging we've seen on the campaign trail. So, this seems to align with President Trump administration's first presidential term. His administration, decreased the stringency of the passenger car greenhouse gas emissions and fuel economy standards, and withdrew California's waiver to set its own state standards. So this had the effect of reducing the regulatory pull towards vehicle emission reduction and electrification overall. So our expectation is the new administration will take a similar approach with commercial vehicle standards during these next 4 years. And how this differs from the previous administration. I guess first off, in terms of what we expected, I guess I should say, since early 2024, we've been preparing for, 2 scenarios, one that would be a stronger push towards electric and hydrogen powered vehicles, and the other that looks more like now what we expect to develop. So we didn't know until November how this would play out, but certainly, the prior administration's greenhouse gas standards for commercial vehicles placed more stringent vehicle emission requirements on OEMs and compelled increased adoption rates of electrified and hydrogen-fueled vehicles from model year 27 to 32. So this is the status quo at the federal level. At the state level, California has its own authority to set its own commercial vehicle standards, as I mentioned. And those would need to be approved by a waiver issued by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. So, automakers still have the opportunity to follow more strict standards if they would like. Just one quick example is, after President Trump's first term in office, so some OEMs decided to still form an agreement with California to follow stricter standards. And so that's one example of how industry can still decide how it would like to move forward and what path it would like to take. So so that's what we're seeing so far.
A lot of changes there in the regulatory area, but I think, Robert, we're still seeing a number of really various areas within the market that are still very heavily adopting electrification.
Yeah, thanks, Roy. I think, I completely agree with Matea. We might see some reduction of incentives. I think I'm somewhat still concerned about the infrastructure, right? Which many always use as a cause for the slowdown of the adoption of battery electric vehicles. But nevertheless, there are several business opportunities here, and I think we need to focus on what are the opportunities, right? We see buses, or we see business models that really use a depot, and we see application of yard tractors, and we see last mile inner city delivery. All of these scenarios work very well, right? We have seen a significant adoption in many of these scenarios, actually more than expected, higher adoption rates than expected, and we expect this to continue, just because it is a total cost of ownership benefit, right? People are making money with that approach. On the other side, we see now, yes, we see an extension of some commercial, conventional technologies, right? And but we see the emergence of some bridge technologies as well. Some very exciting, high voltage hybrid systems that use a lot of components out of the eMobility portfolios. And we are seeing also like battery electric, like range extended battery electric vehicles, with advanced generator and inverter technologies, again, coming out of the battery electric vehicle portfolio. So I think ZF is in a really unique position here with this very modular approach to propulsion systems, and we are able to serve all of these needs. And I think that really sets us aside, and we are well prepared here.
And Robert,
for the changes.
Yeah, you're really alluding to our unique portfolio of products and the way that we manufacture almost every component that's utilized within electrification, as well as our long history of expertise within transmission. And I think maybe that's where Alex wanted to jump in here and really share his expertise from the product line in regards to the products and the modularity.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was jumping in because Robert alluded to, this different, it's a very diverse technology landscape, but it comes down to some specific building blocks, right? When you talk about e-motors, inverters, and other key components that you can kind of mix and match and have these different solutions. And it's super exciting with ZF because, the company has this tradition on transmissions, but embraced these new technologies and developed all these new elements in-house. So it's fully equipped to kind of play Lego with these different configurations and serve these different parts of the market. It has its challenges in terms of development. It's not easy, but it's also super exciting, right? Because you can have a discussion with any customer, as every customer, and find a solution that can serve its specific needs, right? That being from a terminal tractor, range extended vehicle, to even trailer solutions, right? So pretty exciting to be at this point of this technology journey in such a company, yes.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're coming to the end of our time here. I mean, we could probably have a 3-hour podcast about eMobility and the unique integrated modularity of the ZF product line. And I certainly encourage everybody listening to, ask us questions in the comments below, wherever you find this podcast, and we'll certainly monitor that and try and answer your questions and come back with even more ZF Tech TraX podcast to answer all of your questions and familiarize you with all the things that ZF can do. Thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to having you join us in our next episode.